So today I want to touch on a couple of issues that are in the news and just to explore exactly what's happening with those issues and how it makes South Africa a haven for criminals. And if we don't deal with that situation immediately, um, how much further we're going to get into trouble. So I just want to start by talking about two individuals. That's Shadrach Sibia, uh, who has been at the Matlanga Commission for the past few days, and then Brown Mokhotsi as well. And then at the end of it, I want to show you how it links into why South Africa has become a haven for criminals. And I'm not only talking about Africa, I'm talking about South Africa in the world, where whether these cartels in Mexico or Colombia or any other country you can think of, if you are involved in crime, South Africa is a very attractive destination for you to come into and run your drug business, your kidnapping business, your human trafficking ring. Because in South Africa, we've created a situation where it is so conducive to commit crime and get away with it. So let's look at Shadrach Sibia, for example, as an individual. So he was the head of the Hawks. He was a deputy national police commissioner. Those positions are very serious positions. Those positions are the kind of positions. So if you are a deputy national police commissioner, it means that you are number two when it comes to policing in the country. So he is very close to becoming a police commissioner, being in charge of all the crime activities or operations that happen in the country. And he was also head of the Hawks. And we are also aware that he's got a very close relationship with Ket Matlala, meaning that it goes back to the relationship between law enforcement and criminals. So what we're seeing at the ad hoc committee and at the Madlanga Commission is the consistent appearance of evidence that shows us that people that are involved in policing are friends with criminal cartels. So that creates a very serious problem because if you're a whistleblower or you open a case against somebody at the police station, that information will be communicated to the criminals and you are the one who gets exposed. Can you imagine how many whistleblowers have been killed in the past 10 years in South Africa? Can you imagine how many whistleblowers' lives have been destroyed because they dared to talk about a crime that is happening in the department or a crime that they've witnessed, a crime that they have evidence of? And these people are either killed or their lives are destroyed. I'm talking about whistleblowers who are living in exile as we speak. So if you look at Shadrach Sibia, his relationships and his position, you quickly realize that there is no line between law enforcement and crime. No line. And that exposes us as criminals. Number two is Brown Mokhotsi, Mr. 007, 007, 007. So Brown Mokhotsi, strikes me as a character. He's more like a hustler. He's got his hands in every pie when it comes to the ANC. He's got the president's telephone number. He said it the other day. He was involved in a murder case that was dropped. He's got relationships with Ket Matlala. He's got relationship with the with the Minister of Police, Kunu. So he is a man who cannot be trusted. He is a man that just by interviewing him for about an hour, you get to realize that you are not dealing with an honest person. But yet, this person has got he's managed to find a way to get involved in police activities and political activities. And these are the characters that are fueling the issue that we're facing at the moment, where if you're a law enforcement officer, you are no different from a criminal. And that's never happened before. And we are now in that territory where a law enforcement officer and a criminal are walking the same path. And it also shows us, I mentioned earlier that South Africa is becoming a haven for criminals from all over the world, where you can come in, run your prostitution ring, run your drug dealing, do your human trafficking, whatever criminal business that you want to run. South Africa becomes an attractive destination. Why? Because there are no consequences here. We're a country of no consequence. You can cross the border, come in, sell whatever product you want to sell, even if it's not approved, even if it's dangerous to citizens, you can sell it and get away with it. You know how you get away with it? Because when that health department inspector comes in, when that cop comes to the shop, when that traffic officer stops you, all you have to do is pay a bribe and you carry on. We've become that country where if you want to commit crime, it becomes the best place. I mean, most of the guys that are in South Africa illegally or legally, and they're not South African, the stuff that they get up to, the crime that they get to commit in South Africa, they will never even try to commit in their own countries because they understand the size of punishment that will be up to. They understand that they will be punished so severely that in some countries where they come from, there's a death penalty for the stuff that they're committing in South Africa. They understand that there is zero tolerance for the nonsense that they get up to in South Africa. But we've created an environment where it is free for all. Crime pays in this country. So it's almost like we must come up with a movie named Criminals and Cops because people in the township know that cops collect bribes from tuck shops that are not compliant. Everybody in South Africa knows that cops collect bribes on the roads. People know that JMPD, EMP, they collect bribes. It's almost like a norm. So we've created an environment where law enforcement doesn't matter anymore. The lawlessness, actually, if you want to make it in South Africa, you have to be a lawless person. Then that way you can get to your destination quickly. But if you want to follow the rules, you're going to be slowed down by red tape, and then you're going to be hustled by officials, whether it's at the Home Affairs or at the licensing department. The system is designed to make a bribe the easy way out. And until we can shut this situation down and start over and come up with systems that make sure that law-abiding citizens are the ones who win and not the criminals. So it also goes back to religious leaders. I mean, I was born in this country and I went to Methodist church when I was a kid, even Dutch Reformed church. The character of the religious leaders that come into South Africa from other countries, they set some systems around, whether there's money laundering happening there or drug dealing. But the people that are named in the Home Affairs investigation, the religious leaders that are named in that investigation, they're not even real pastors because all they're really doing is they're pushing some sort of a hustle. So we have a situation where the whole fabric of society is being torn apart because we've allowed lawlessness to become the way of life. Religious leaders coming to this in this country pretending to be pastors, opening up big churches, and while they're actually just running some sort of a human trafficking ring, paying bribes, doing all sorts of things. I remember the other time I watched a video of a pastor, I forgot his name, and he was getting escorted by JMPD to his church. Who's paying those officers? Who gets an escort from their house to the church? Who does that? So we've created a situation in this country where committing a crime actually pays. And that message is being delivered to our youth. Because they look at these people on TV, they look at the cars they drive, they look at the houses that are exposed on TV, and they realize that, you know what, maybe if I want to really get there, I'm going to have to join a gang or something like that. So this goes back to my passion to train young people in law enforcement to patrol our streets. Because guess what? We don't have law enforcement in this country anymore. We don't. If you watch the Madlanga Commission, there are times when I cannot even take it. You watch it for 5 minutes and you realize, oh my God, I cannot believe how exposed we are. We are so exposed when it comes to crime. Until we can have young people that can take that baton and be the ones that eradicate this nonsense, exorcise the crime out of our society, take it out. Because who are we waiting for? Are we going to wait for the police? Are we going to wait for the SAPs? Are we waiting for the Hawks? After watching their top leaders on TV expose themselves and make us realize that we have no law enforcement. Our law enforcement is a criminal syndicate. The Heartful Patrol Unit, the idea comes from there to say, look around you. Look at how much crime happens in our country and how much of it gets solved. I think right now, the crimes that get solved are probably 10%, and 90% of the crimes just go away. Files missing, cases being postponed. The whole system is broken. And We need to realize that and come to terms with the fact that we don't have law enforcement in South Africa. We have no police. We don't have a justice system because we are watching the justice system on TV live tell us that we don't have one. Anyway, those are my thoughts for the day. Please support Khatfo. Like I said, this channel is about finding solutions. We're not chasing news or anything like that. We want to find solutions. We want to change this country one street at a time, one patroller at a time. Train young people, get them in the streets, in the environment that they live in the townships, in suburbs, in towns, in cities. Let them be the ones to get trained and get the discipline and be patriots and clean up this country. Because without restoring law and order in this country, we cannot move forward. You cannot move forward when the criminals are the ones running the show. You cannot move forward. You cannot build anything worth building. You cannot build anything of value until you clean up the system. Because the minute you start a project, there's going to be extortion rings coming in and bugging you. When you want to open a filling station, somebody wants a payment for protection. If you want to open a restaurant, somebody is on your case about protection fees. We have to clean up the system, get the criminals out of our country, get them out of our streets. There's few of them, there's many of us. So thank you so much for your support. Look out for updates about Heartful Patrol Unit this week. And until then, stay safe.